You're listening to the Money Dad Podcast, practical financial and business conversation from a dad who knows money. I'm April Adams, and please welcome my dad, the Money Dad, Robert Adams. So last time we talked about raising your kids to know about money, telling them the truth about money, teaching them how to use money, and for this episode we wanted to get more into maybe the business side of it for kids, how to teach them how to earn money.
Absolutely, April, and then also some of this will apply to the parents on how to teach your kids to earn money. Last time we talked about where we would give kids allowances and things for stuff that they did, but we never did dive deep into that on how do you do it. So that's what I kind of want to share today. You know, the first thing is you just don't hand out a set amount of money per week, you know, to your kids. Try to explain to your kids that money just don't grow on trees. You want to show them. Mm-hmm. You want to show them how to use money. They need to learn to work for the money that they want and try to teach them at an early age, because things will not be handed to you in life. You know, you have got to go out there and make it happen. And people say, well, I don't really want to start when they're 3 years old or 5 years old or 10 years old. And sometimes people just want to give their kids money just to shut them up, you know, get them out of the way. Well, what's going to happen when that kid becomes 22 years old or becomes 18 years old, and all you've done is given them everything, and they have not trained themselves to think on how to earn, and then they turn in to 32, then they turn into 40, and then all of a sudden the parents die, and the kids have always been dependent on the parents even up to 40 years old. Now what's going to happen? So you really are doing them an injustice if you do not try to teach them early and teach them how to appreciate things. Right now, we struggle with people when we go to hire somebody that they, first of all, don't understand that they have to go to work every day at a certain time. Number one, it's just nice to show up. Or if you can't show up, make a phone call. But some kids have never been taught that even matters. They'll just call you the morning of work and say, well, I just can't come today because I had a bad night last night. And I'm like, well, your day just got worse because you don't need to come back because you now no longer have a job. So, well, why do you want to do that? My night was terrible. It's like,
nobody cares what your night was like.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, well, my day is about to be terrible because I was depending on you to come here, because when I hired you, you agreed to come to work here, to work for a certain amount per hour, but you decided that because you had a bad night that you didn't want to show up. So I think that you would be better served working for someone else. Mm-hmm. And that's how, and I've seen so many kids like that. And where did it come from? Because nobody taught them responsibility. A lot of people want to come and get a paycheck. They do want to get the money, but they do not want to earn the money. So when you start out around the house, first of all, talk to them about family chores, such as picking up you in your room, making your bed, picking up your toys, helping with the laundry, cleaning up in the bathroom. There are certain responsibilities that you need to teach your kid to contribute to the family that do not earn money. Those things are not things that they need to do to earn an allowance. Those are things they need to do to participate in what the rest of the family is doing to try to keep things orderly, to try to keep things clean. So start off there, and then they have to realize too that in life there's just certain requirements.
Yeah, teach your kids how to pick up after themselves, because otherwise they're going to go to college and be the worst roommate ever.
Hey, man, I mean, who wants to live looking like a hoarder?
Hoarders.
Hoarders, whatever.
Hoarders want to live looking like a hoarder.
Hoarder. Whatever. Well, and some of these things, too, whenever these kids do it, at first, don't expect perfection in those areas, but expect a good effort, but set a standard for what it should be. It's like training an employee. Train your children. Show them the chore they have to do. Show them how to do it, and set an expectation for that chore. And monitor it as it goes along. Then they will get used to authority. That someone is in authority when you go and take a job, that someone is going to have authority over you. And they are going to tell you what you need to do, how you need to do it, when you need to do it, and they'll support you on it. And when you do a great job, you may have a chance to move up in that company. You may have a chance to gain more experience and go somewhere else and make more money. But that's important to teach them that the chore is a responsibility and that there is a reward after the chore. So separate those things. Kids don't get a chance to earn money before the chores are complete. So you see where I'm going here. Focus first of all on the foundation and the principles that before you can start earning money with your chores, with the things that you do to get an allowance, you have first of all got to complete the jobs that you were supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Now, some chore ideas.
Personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility. Mm-hmm. So did we wear it out enough?
I mean, I don't know if you ever can wear that out enough.
Yes. But I think everybody sees where I'm going. So a couple little paid chores you can start with now. Now that we've done it, now it's allowance time. So you got some kids 3 to 5 years old. You can tell them tidy up the toys, try to make your bed, wash your hands, or maybe feed the cat or something. Throw some little pellets out instead of like April where hers comes out automatic because she's got a timer. Let the kids go get it out of the bag and throw it over there.
Let the kids learn how to automate.
April, it's not where we're going.
Look, if they can learn how to automate, then they can sell the technology they created and make more money.
Yeah. Okay.
Innovation comes from challenges.
Okay. I'm too old for that. All right. Ages, say you go up to about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sweep the floors, wipe surfaces, clean the table, fold the laundry, water the plants, little things. And those are things that you can start younger children out at. But one of the things that one of my colleagues told me they did the other day is they actually identified a bunch of chores around the house that were things that they could do, that their kids could do to make money. And they actually put a price on each one of those chores. One thing was like paid $1, one thing paid $0.25, one thing paid 25 cents. And it was to get them to focus on who wanted to sign up for what first. And then whenever they did that chore, and they did it well, that they actually got paid for it. And now she said those kids are coming back wanting to know when the chores are going to be posted so they can go through and do things like that. You got to give these kids goals, and you got to give them something to look forward to do and know that they're going to get paid to do it if they do a great job. One of the things that I would say to parents is we got to have a little penalty in here a little bit. If they do not do a good job, they do not get paid. I'm saying this because if one of these kids decides they want to go run their own business, let's say they're doing a plumbing business or an HVAC business or anything that's in the service business, and they go out and they perform some work, they are going to expect payment from the people they perform the work for. But what if they do a terrible job? The person they did the work for says, I'm not going to pay you. That causes an argument.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes that person may have paid you, and you're one of these people that you do want to do the right thing, but when you have to go back and fix what you should have fixed the first time, it's going to cost you money. So let them know there's certain standards that need to be done, and I'll use the phrase, do it right the first time.
Oh, I got an example of that when we had my bathroom renovated.
Yes.
And there were a few times, they might not have made that much money because they messed up some things so bad. And I know one of the guys working, he was not the one running it, so he didn't have that concept, but he would mess up stuff, have to go back to the home improvement store, buy more parts, but wanted me to reimburse him every time he had to buy some parts. Well, it hit a point, there's something he truly did mess up, and he told it, and I didn't pay him for it, and he told his boss that she hasn't paid me for that, and his boss said she's not going to pay you for that.
Absolutely. And that whole point right there, if you start early and teach your kids, they will understand the expectations when they walk out of the house. I know of a kid right now who's never had a job outside of his home. He's cleaned some toilets and some other things, just a little bit of stuff, and he's about to go to college. And I hope that he's prepared for some things, because it's easier to learn it when you're younger instead of getting it dumped on you when you get older. Some other chore ideas, and I'll just spat some off. Wipe down the dining room table, set a table, clear the table, clean the windows, clean the floor. We said water the plants, dusting, organize playrooms. Bigger, go out there, rake the leaves, weed the yard, cut the grass, take out the trash. I like this one. I never did get y'all to do it. I don't think I did. Wash the car.
Oh, I wash cars.
Okay.
That's how I tried to make money.
Okay, there you go.
I had my own little soap and bucket kit, and would try to convince people to pay me to wash their car.
And then for some younger ones, get them to carry in the groceries. The point is go down. You can find things around the house that you can identify as a paid chore, and you set a price for what you're going to pay for that chore. If you got a couple kids, let them even see who can get there first to see who's going to get to do the chore that's going to pay the most money. You want to teach them the initiative of, I don't need to wait till tomorrow. I need to get it done yesterday. Because there's a lot of that out there where it's like they've been smoking reefer all day long, and they come up and I won't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. And a lot of them probably have been, and that's why they have that attitude. But, you want them to grow up with a little bit of ambition to be able to do some things. And don't act like you've been smoking reefer. All right. As you go through these things, get both parents on the same page. Talk about the plan, talk about how you're going to implement it, talk about the things that you want to do, and try to encourage your children to just be responsible. Teach them, again, like we talked about, that there's some things you just have to do around the house to keep the household running. Those are the unpaid things. And that you want to also, through these things, teach a good work ethic. Let's see what else I put down here. Oh, I like this one. Don't be tempted to just push them away and offer them money just to keep their mouth shut or something silly. sometimes kids will badger the parents to death, and the parents don't want to discipline them. So they just say, "Oh, go away. Here, I'll give you $10 if you go away and do this." Don't do that.
In our household, it was, if you don't go away, you're going to be sent away.
Yes, right. And you're not going to be
room.
feeling too good on your rear end as you walk away.
Yeah. You might be sent to your room if you can't.
There were consequences of those actions. And unfortunately today, April, there's a lot of parents that don't want to take the time to provide consequences for actions that are not acceptable. And that's why kids grow up to be spoiled. And then when they get into the real world, they take those same attitudes with them because they've had no training. And all of a sudden, that's when they get a dose of hard reality. And I love this one, April. I just don't understand. Well, what we're trying to tell you here is you need to put some things in place, teach your kids early so they will understand. And don't take away things from them for misbehaving. Now, if they do a bad job, take it away. But where I'm going here is back to discipline. Misbehaving deserves a consequence. You need to teach your kids how to be, as we used to be told in school, model citizens. Look on TV now and see how many model citizens you have. Not too many. The way some of these people are spitting things out of their mouth and the things they're protesting about, they're just totally clueless. And they never have been taught because there never was any consequences. A lot of them appear to be trust fund babies who were just given money just to go, leave me alone, leave me alone. And now, what do they have in life? Their day is to wake up, go speak what you want to speak, thinking that they're doing something, and they're not doing anything at all. They've had no responsibility, no guidance whatsoever.
So you said don't take away things?
Not for misbehaving. In other words, don't take away their allowances for misbehaving.
No.
Give them consequences for misbehaving.
Like you can take away screen time.
Yeah,
you can take away a favorite toy. You can take away those things. So, okay.
Well, you just took two of my first three. Sometimes people like to do the timeout thing. I am not a timeout person. I think there ought to be a little bit more. Take toys away or something that's important to them, like your screen time. Or you don't have to beat your children, but you might want to have physical discipline. When I grew up, it was called butt whippings. And that's how we took your consequence. We gave you a consequence by doing that. Not that we beat you to death, but you were really stubborn, April. So that was the only thing that got your attention. So if time out and taking toys away and screen time don't get your attention, there is only one alternative to that.
I would do it again the next day.
Or you could save a whole lot of money and say, well, sorry, that trip to Disney World that we were going to take next month is canceled.
And Zach,
that is your parents lose their deposit, the other sibling gets...
They never made the deposit.
But that is a very...
There was never a trip to
You
Disney.
were never planning a trip.
That's a very, very, very good point.
That's if you know your kid's gonna do something bad.
Yeah.
Watch that child be an angel, and then they're like, "My parents lied."
That's good. And hey, parents, show them that's a big consequence. Everybody suffers, but you're teaching them that teamwork deal too. That somebody else messed it up for everybody. Last podcast we talked about when in our family we made Christmas and birthdays important with toys. If you're giving them an allowance, they're saving money. You're taking some down to the savings, the bank for savings for them. Let them know you want your own junk from the Dollar Tree. You take your money and go buy it. You want that little product up there when you go to ring up at the counter at the checkout. You use your money to get it. You know, make them get it out of their wallet. Chore money is a game changer for the I won'ts. When you have to spend your money, sometimes people don't want it as much. But when you're spending somebody else's money and there's no consequences and none of that stuff, why would you even care? That's where we're going with this podcast, is to try to love your children enough now to care and take the time to invest in them, to teach them about money, teach them about discipline, so when they grow up and they walk out of the house, they will be independent, not dependent. And I might have just jumped ahead of one thing that I had here. It says, we don't just become adults who understand how to spend, how to save, and give automatically. We have to learn how to do that. Do it with your kids' best interests in mind, in hopes that they will be high-functioning, independent adults one day. That's why you're making all this effort. And then the last thing I want to talk about is teach your kids to give. Nobody wants to give a portion of what they make. I am not ashamed to confess I am Christian. So these things are based upon biblical principles, but I will also share some stories to go along with it that I jotted down. So getting back to your children, and I said teach them to give before I share my story. I got ahead of myself, April. Let them know that they had the ability, they had the health, they had the situation, they had the job, the opportunity to go earn $1. So teaching them to give back is just like taking them for that little $5 savings account, $5 a week, putting it in your savings we talked about in another podcast. Teach them to give back at least 10 cents out of that dollar. You know, it's the best monetary decision that you can teach them to make, and I will share my opinion on that. My father took me to church every Sunday. That was something that was important to him, and he made sure that I was going to go with him. And he would always tell me to take some of what I earned and put it in the offering plate. Well, being a certain age, my question was what? Daddy, how much you want me to give? How much should I give? It wasn't, do I need to give? It was out of respect for him and what he was trying to teach me, how much do I give? And it was usually 10 cents. Regardless of what it was usually 10 cents. You see what he was trying to do? He was trying to get me into the habit of giving. He was trying to show me that it was important to give back. If God has provided a way for you to make 100% of what you make, to be able to do the things that you do, why is it so hard to give back a portion of that? And it doesn't have to be just your church. There's a lot of 501c3s that you can contribute to, but just get in the habit of giving back. Well, all of this that my dad did, April, it worked fine until I got married. And we were struggling to make ends meet. So I had lost all that training at that time because it was like, how in the world are we going to give when we are struggling just to make it? And what that taught me was to really dig deeper into my budget and look at how things were and try to find a way. Now, you don't have to give exactly 10%, but you do need to get in the habit of contributing something. Sometimes people get in a deep hole and they have all this debt. So at that point, there may not be a whole lot of giving, but there can be a little bit of giving. So I was convicted one Sunday, but just could not justify to put that check in the offering plate because of our financial situation. And you'll probably like this one. I don't even know if I told you the story. I finally decided to put a check in the offering plate one Sunday, but I took it back out at first.
Yeah.
Because I took it right. The plate's coming by. I put it in. I took it out. Then I finally let it go because somebody was down at the other end waiting on it, and everybody was watching me.
They were watching you. Mm-hmm.
So I was scared to death, but I was at peace. And I learned to trust God with what He had provided. I eventually, April, became a cheerful giver. And that is when my life changed spiritually and financially. I hate telling some people this because in my little bio you said I now teach Bible study. But when you learn to be obedient in that area, it's not like you have a little genie bottle over here that you do this and you're going to get rewarded. But look at it this way, because I was obedient, I did get rewarded. Mm-hmm. And my life has changed tremendously spiritually and financially from my daddy teaching me, why don't you put 10 cents in the plate this week? Mm-hmm. And because of that one teaching from him and having respect for him, it changed my life completely. So I hope that a lot of you will now take the time to invest in your children. Take the time away from your schedule to teach them. It takes time because if you don't do it, their life will be so much worse and so much uneasier later on, in my opinion, April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do want to come back to that point that you don't give to get. And so a lot of times when we do give, there are blessings that come back, but that doesn't guarantee that everything's going to be easy and you're just going to get all this wealth if you put a little bit in. And so it's a practice, whether you're a Christian or not, the practice of giving does work on changing your heart. And that's what it should be. So even if you're giving to another charity or something, I think a lot of people say, well, if I give this, I'll get good karma back, or something good will come back to me. And that's why they do it. And so the other thing, when you're in the practice of it, think about really releasing those things and with no expectations of return.
I've looked at it like it's not mine to begin with. Mm-hmm. And when you take that attitude, you are to be a good steward over what you have been given. And if I can keep 90% and only give back 10, that's a pretty good deal. Mm-hmm. And it's not, as your point, not to give back to receive, but I can tell you by having the right spirit and attitude, it's been amazing what has come back. Mm-hmm. Because of the spirit and the attitude, not because of the giving, expecting something in return. You give people something, you give charity something, you give your church something because you want to, not expecting anything back. It's for you. It's not for them.
Thanks for listening to the Money Dad Podcast. Head on over to our website, themoneydadpodcast.com, for more resources and to send in any questions that you might have. Do your homework, and we'll see you next time.